Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. This video is going to be a slow build of a new exhibit. As you can see, I have built kind of a small landing area. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna focus too much on all of this stuff here in terms of like buildings and all that jazz. I really want to focus most of my time on the dinosaur enclosures and the species that we choose. But I will basically say that this is all the entrance area and all the facilities are kind of hidden in the back here. I do have the dinosaur requirements and stuff turned off because otherwise it gets a little difficult to design the exhibits the way that I want to, and then the dinosaurs aren't happy with this certain things, so I have all that stuff turned off so I can be a little more creative. But you may also notice that there is a speed build version of this exhibit, and I'm curious to know which version you all like more. Or just continue to do both. It's actually not that difficult to just record this as the slow build version and then make two different versions of the video. The one where I go through the whole building process slowly, and then all I have to do is cut out all of my audio and speed up the footage to make the speed build variant. So let me know which version you all like more, or would you like to continue to just have both to pick from? This can serve as kind of a like behind the scenes version of the speed build, if you will. So to exhibit number 1, we're starting with the Triassic Era, and we are going to have a dual enclosure. There will be a fence separating them, but we're going to have Coelophysis and Lystrosaurus. Coelophysis is a North America dinosaur, whereas Lystrosaurus is not. At least I don't believe it is, but we are going to pretend, use our imagination a little bit, that Lystrosaurus is going to be our stand-in for a creature called Placerias. It is, Placerias was bigger than Lystrosaurus, but they overall looked fairly similar. And if you all remember the first part of Walking with Dinosaurs, the Placerias was the big, like, tusked hippo-looking thing walking around alongside the Coelophysis and the Postosuchus. So anyway, Lystrosaurus is going to be our stand-in Placerias. Alright, so I already kind of have a rough idea of what I want this exhibit to look like. When it comes to the smaller dinosaurs, I really like to have the gyrosphere ride, because it lets you get close to the dinosaurs without having to view them from a viewing gallery. So this helps the guests to get right up close and personal with the dinosaurs. So that's what we're gonna choose. We'll just use a regular small electrified fence, and we don't want to make it too big because both the Coelophysis and the Lystrosaurus aren't particularly large creatures. I can't say dinosaurs because Placerias is technically something called a dicynodont, I believe. I'm not super great with all these other names going on here, but anyway, I don't want the exhibit to directly connect into the gyrosphere. I actually want them to have to drive into it so that they can go through the gate. And I wanted it to be at least 4 links long. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this should connect. One thing that you all will probably notice, and is that I like to, when possible, I like to keep everything kind of square and boxy. I think it makes it easier for the audience to kind of not get confused, or to maybe take inspiration from the building if it's a little bit easier to follow. So this is basically a 4x4 square with cut into a 2x4 rectangles. So we're going to have our ranger post. I'm not really going to be worrying about assigning ranger posts, but I do like it for the scenery aspect. Alright, and then I'm going to turn this off so the gyrospheres don't actually start coming through, but I do want to lay down the path first. So here's the track. And just go straight in there. I think that's what I want, right about here. Alright, and a sharpish turn going this way. Like I said, I have a little drawing in front of me that I'm using to kind of guide what I'm doing here. There we go. Nice closed little loop. Alright, so if you remember in the Walking of Dinosaurs episode, the Coelophysis were all swept away by a flash flood at the end, which was kind of creepy but kind of cool. So we're and then they talked about how supposedly, I'm not a paleontologist or anything, but basically the weather and the rain seasons would cause flash flooding, supposedly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have each of the little areas kind of divided in half, with a dry area and a like more tropical area. So they all need water, but basically on one half it'll be all dry and deserty, and on the other half it'll be kind of like more, that'll be where all the trees and stuff go. Alright, so I do have all of the tree options turned on, so we'll play around with that a little bit. But I'm gonna put down like the cactuses, or cacti, or whatever the right word is, here, so that it's looks all kind of deserty and whatnot. And then we're gonna put down these a little bit more tropically looking trees in here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So the foliage gets a little denser on the other side here. And let's kind of put those. It's kind of annoying how the path gets stands out very easily like that. I always try to make that not super obvious if I can. Alright, so we're gonna want a carnivore dispenser. This half is gonna be where the Coelophysis go. And we want to make sure that the guests get a pretty good view of them. They're already gonna see them getting water there pretty easily, so how about we put a meat dispenser here, and maybe a prey dispenser over here. We'll have to double check what kind of foliage the Lystrosaurus slash Placerias likes to eat. Let's put some desert rocks down. I really like that they have the random rock tool. It makes spreading these around much easier. Alright, that should be good. Let's make the terrain a little more interesting. So, make the gyrosphere ride kind of go up and down a little bit to make that a little more fun. Oops, maybe not that much. Put some other just gentle hills in here. Alright, just to make it a little more interesting. Alright, so... Alright, what else can we do? Let's assign a ranger team so that that thing goes away. We need to put some gates down so they can actually get in. So I have one here. And let's just put one of each right there, nice and easy. And then we don't want it to just be kind of out in the middle of nowhere necessarily, so let's see. One thing that when we get to some of the bigger dinosaurs that I'm going to kind of like to incorporate is the idea that perhaps we don't have a super great idea of or full control, so to speak, over how the dinosaurs behave. And so there'll be like extra security precautions in place with some of the more dangerous dinosaurs. But for these guys, they should be pretty benign, I would say, comparatively speaking. So we don't need to worry about having any like moats or like dug into a ditch kind of enclosures. This should be a relatively safe first attraction. So I'm gonna kind of paint some rock on this so it looks kind of like a little hill, and then we'll put some other rocks and some other trees around to kind of frame the exhibit a little bit better. Alright. That way it doesn't just look like you're staring off into nothing when you're in the gyrosphere ride. And then let's use our random rock generator tool to put some more rocks up here. Alright, is there anything else that we can put down in here? Let's look in the decorations. So yeah, here's where you can pick all the different trees. So we want to stick with desert for right now. This one looks kind of cool. This is a unique looking tree. Let's put some of those down. Let's put some of these watermelon looking cactus things. Some of these. I was thinking, let's see, some of these are planters, so I'm not. Oh, there's some individual cacti we can put down. I like that. Can I put it? Oh, that would have been immersion breaking, but would have been fun if I could put that on the rock. Alright. One thing I want to try to do too is wherever the ranger outposts are, I kind of want to paint that with like dirt or something to make it look like, oh, this has been traveled on by the car. It's neat to like incorporate some of the man-made-ness, if you will, of the exhibits. So kind of like, it doesn't have to be super intrusive, but just to like show it, yeah, there's vehicle traffic in here. Even if it breaks up the exhibit a little bit, it just makes sense that there would be, you know, like a sign that there is vehicle traffic around here. Alright, that's good enough there. Let me go back to the decorations to see if there's anything else under the desert ones. This stretch right here is a little bit boring, so let's see if there's something cool we can put over here. One thing that happened that I'm not a big fan of is when I put the water down, it did that thing where it raises it up a little bit, so we definitely need to put some stuff down here to make that look a little more interesting. Let's see. And then let's get our rocks back again. Put some of those down. Oh, that's where the actual track goes. Alright, so let's kind of take a look. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of how sometimes the water raises itself up like that, but I think it'll be okay. Is there anything else? I think that's good. I think we're good. So let's start. If I think of anything else, so by the way, so I wrote it down. The Coelophysis has the Gambia river skin with the Rana pattern. It looked the most like the Walking with Dinosaurs Coelophysis, so that was the one I picked.
Asset required collection. Acknowledging asset collection request.
And there's 10 of them going in here. And let's see, for Lystrosaurus, they like ground leaf and ground fiber, so we need to put some of that in there so they can actually eat. And put some over here. Even if it's just a little bit, we don't have to like... There we go, something there, some over here. Kind of make the edges of the map a little more interesting for them. Alright, so let's get them flown over. I really like that they have the release by airlift feature, but it still takes like 5 years for them all to get delivered, which is a little frustrating sometimes, so I will probably cut here and we'll come back when the dinosaurs are in the exhibit. I'm going to turn on the gyrosphere, though.
Assets in the air. Transportation complete.
Keep your arms and legs away from the doors while they open and close.
Dinosaurs attempting to establish dominance while you were on this tour. While it can be worrying and distressing to witness, these standoffs are vitally important to the way these animals select encounters.
Gyrosphere gate closing. Please stand clear.
Operating in the desert may effectively eradicate the threats that rainstorms pose, but here we face an alternate threat in the form of sandstorms. These dangerous conditions can cause respiratory and vision problems for both dinosaurs and guests.
Gyrosphere gate closing. Please stand clear.
life are the result of conflict. Some of the more social dinosaur species achieve the dominant status through intimidation alone. This leader is recognized as the group's alpha, but it may find itself being challenged regularly to retain its status.